Hi, my name is Scott Patchen, and today I want to walk you through a tool that I use to do what I call trust building. A lot of people call it team building, but I'm always talking about trust building, and it's called the Team Member Fact Sheet. And maybe to put some context on this, it was for many years actually. I've in working with teams and working with leaders and leading teams, it's always seemed to me that the teams that were the higher performing ones were the ones that had found a way to kind of create relationships beyond just work relationships, where they kind of knew each other. And over the years, research is by Gallup and some other places has supported that belief. Most recently, there was a guy named Paul Zak wrote a book called The Neuroscience of Trust, and in it he makes the observation that just from an ROI and team performance perspective, he says that when people intentionally build social ties at work, their performance improves. And he also cites a Google study that found a similar thing. So there's lots of research out here that says this is true. I'm not really going to spend a ton of time arguing about that today. I just really want to share this with you and hopefully equip you as a leader to feel comfortable to go out and facilitate some of these conversations with your team. So let me first say before I get into this that this is meant to be used after hire. You don't hand this out before hire, mainly because a lot of the information that's on here, some of it is actually you're not supposed to ask people until they're hired. It'd be illegal or could be illegal in many situations. So use it. This is meant to be an onboarding tool or some sort of a trust building kind of a tool you might use at an offsite for an hour or two to kind of facilitate learning about each other. The first thing I want to highlight is actually at the top of the first page. And that is that concept that I always tell people, just fill out the information you're comfortable filling out. I want to make it safe for people, and this is not fill in all the blanks. Most people will fill it all out, but in a lot of cases, their ability to fill this out helps me understand kind of how much they trust me, believe it or not. So send it out to people, have them fill it out. Let me just walk you through the sections why I ask it. Personal information. You'd be shocked. It's hard to find out information about people, and this really helps me better understand just basics for them, where they were born, what their birthday is, what they would consider their key family relationships. Everyone defined family a little bit differently. Tell me who they are, and also even down to the pets. Some people love their pets more than their siblings. So I always ask that question. So it's just a little bit of background information. The second section is around education experience. Again, especially as you hire people that are, have been working for 20, 30 years, sometimes 40 years, the way people work on into their 60s and 70s, it's good to know their background and where they've worked. Again, they might have some hidden talents from your perspective. You'll also begin to understand kind of what they enjoyed about some of their different work. A lot has been written about talent and leveraging talents of people, and this is a good way to kind of capture that. The next section is my gifts and my needs, and this, again, it's easier to manage people that are self-aware and understanding what people are good at and where their gifts are. Let them tell you. And the other thing you'll get out of this is how self-aware they are. The subtle little question over here, I think that's going to be really important for you as a manager managing any age person, is what rewards do they most appreciate. And I'm always amazed, a lot of people think money, but for the most part, when you ask people this, it's something like time or there are words of affirmation. Individual that just likes a kind word, or maybe they like a challenging project or that type of thing. So, that's what that section is for. I love the miscellaneous section because it seems kind of random, and yet if you put 6 to 10 people in a room, connections will get made. Someone will share a hobby, someone will share a vacation, maybe it's a sports team, something, or maybe it's their sports teams are the biggest rivals, and that's going to churn off some tension in the office on Sundays or around tournament time or whatever that might be, which is all good. The other thing is, and this will help you as a leader, have them tell you when they're stressed, and especially when you onboard new people, you won't know them, so the ability for them to kind of communicate with you how to notice when they're stressed so you can take any appropriate actions as their leader. And then finally, the last section on the first page, last but not least, always is around communication. And trust building, it's really important to tighten down communication. So I always want people to share kind of what are your 2 primary or preferred methods of communication and what's your response time. For example, I always tell people My response time is guaranteed time for email is 4 hours. It tells them a couple things. One is I don't check my email all the time. It's distracting. But the second thing is if you need to get a hold of me, you better call me or text me, because if it's a timeliness thing, email won't get it done. The back page has a lot of more open-ended questions. Again, these tend to generate bigger, deeper conversations. What are their aspirations? Questions to make people think. And then some of the things about how I work. And I'm going to have a different video that's going to talk about how you potentially could use this as a mapping tool for a whole team to talk about gaps that might exist. But for especially you as a leader, just compare your work styles to theirs. Maybe you're a getting to work leader, but they want to do some check-in time at the front. So you notice subtle, maybe you schedule in 2 or 3 minutes just to check in. How are you doing? Tell me about yourself. What did you do over the weekend? All that kind of stuff, because maybe they appreciate it, whereas you might not value that. So being able to compare kind of how your styles align and where they might be a little bit different is really important. And then I talk a lot about trust and truth, and these are just helping people share their trust rules in terms of their ability to be straightforward when they will, when they won't. I think that's all important information. And then finally, the last page, I give you some tips and tricks for how you might be able to use this as a leader in the different scenarios you might use it in. I'll leave you with a website that you can go and find out more about how you might want to purchase this, and then you can download some of the free tools I put around. I've also introduced in terms of the poster I just alluded to that you can use with your team. And you'd find that at www.thetruegroup.com /TMFS. So it's Team Member Fact Sheet, TMFS. And on that, you'll find a bunch more information about how you can use this to build a stronger team. So with that, I'll kind of leave you with really where I end up all my videos, and that's with I kind of call it's my mantra around leadership in terms of my books and some of the other things that I've shared with people, and that's people-centered leaders are people that really care about their people, who are really kind of committed to having a culture of a team that's trusting and honest and high performing. Here's my mantra, and it's listen, lead, and repeat often.